Is this on or not? Dang it. Okay, I must be on. I must be on now. Hey, everybody. It's Eric. I'm making a game. It's called the Godkiller. It's a fantastic game. You're going to love it. And people often ask me, in fact, I get so many inquiries about this, how do you make your own homemade mustard? Well, mustard comes from mustard seeds. So you get a little window box out there and you put the mustard seeds in there. You get the mustard seeds from your store. And then they grow up maybe 6 inches high. And that'll take you, if you do it in the right season, it'll take you a couple of weeks just to get them up to 6 inches high. And then you pick them, and you don't want to eat them like that because they're just going to be like these gritty seeds, and it won't. You want a certain consistency. So you find a Chihuahua, you feed them the mustard seeds, Chihuahua barfs it out, and you take that, and that'll be the right consistency. You put that in your toast, whatever, with the squirrel meat, and it's going to be great. So that's how you make your own mustard. All right, also, my game. Let's do a demo. This time I hit play before I went to the screen where the demo is, so you didn't have to sit there and look at me being impatient while the spinner was messing around. Okay, so I always start these streams with nonsense like you just heard, followed by a demo, which is maybe more germane. So this is a demo of work recently completed on the game. In fact, from last night. Okay, so this pink character in the middle, that's me, or the player-controlled character. These other guys are walking up on me, and I can push them around. They can push me around. Whenever you die, you are reborn inside of this egg thing over here. And it's just a matter of time before one of us dies. Me or one of these brawlers, I call them. So let's get one of them to die, and you can see what's new. I'll die first, just to be generous. Okay. I didn't see the effect there. There might be a bug. Okay. Alright, so what I worked on yesterday was I got a particle effect of some particles shooting out of the door when one of these guys is spawned up in it. So you see him appear just outside the exit, and then there's a flash of white particles that goes north as he appears, and that's what I did yesterday. I also kind of fiddled around it with this idea that you could use the spokes on the ice to be able to stop your slide. Let me just show ice. It's not recently completed work, but just so I can explain it. Ice makes you move all the way across the squares that contain ice. It's the same for the enemies too. Okay, so the thing that I wanted to test out was how useful is it for puzzles to allow this spinning spoke thing to stop you from moving on the ice, because I played with the idea of letting you push through when you slide on the ice. Boy, these guys are getting in my way now. I played with the idea of letting you push through the spoke and cause it to rotate when you slide. on a path on the ice that would take you into the spoke path. But I decided it's better to have the spoke stop you, because that allows puzzles where you can use the spokes to stop yourself from sliding all the way across ice. Alright, so it's starting to get kind of crazy. This is maybe a level, I mean, this is a junk level, I'll throw it away, but like this is not like one of the first levels I would give to a player. I would be introducing all of these game elements a little bit at a time, so that when you arrive at something that's got axles and spokes, ice, enemies, spikes to throw them onto, you would be trained up a little bit. It's a fairly unique game. Getting used to all the mechanics takes a while. The trickiest one for people is that everything stops until you move, and then as soon as you move, everything else moves. And not just that, but considering that even though you don't see it represented that way, you move first, and then all the other things move after that. So if I'm in a position like this, if I were to move north, I will first push this guy. He'll go all the way across the room and die on that spike. If I were to move west, it's like I move first, and then this guy here would move north. He would push me. Okay, so the distance between you and the other creature matters, and the concept that you move and then they immediately move after would, after a little bit, get ingrained into your head. But it takes some practice to get used to that. So, but once you have it, it is fun. It really is. You could say I'm a little bit too in love with my game, but I never seem to get tired of just fiddling around like this, and that's a good sign. And this is not even a properly designed level. It's just random things thrown together. And it's still fun, and that's always a good sign when there's emergent fun without even working on the level design. Okay, so what do I want to do next? I'm interested these days in taking game elements to 100%, meaning I don't like having an asterisk next to a game element saying, oh, it's done, except. I like it when I can say that something is done. You know, I could release it. You know, I don't need to do anything else on it. I might tweak it a little bit as I go, but it's done. And so things like this bonus here, that's 100% done. I may tweak it, like I might mess with the particle effect a little bit, but it works exactly as expected. It's got a nice sound effect that goes along with it. These axle and spokes, I fixed some bugs in them. They're at 100%. They are release ready. This ice, release ready, 100%. So what about this egg? I keep on making small refinements to it. And I must be closing in on it. You know, yesterday I added the particle effect for the doors. So I look at it and I think, what's left? There's a few things. I'm only going to do one of them today. One is it looks a little bit plain. I think that's what I'm going to work on today. We just add a little more detail to it so it's more interesting to behold. I don't think that'll be hard. I think I can get that together pretty easily. Some other things that could be worthwhile. When you touch it, that establishes that egg as the place where you will go when you die. So touching is just pushing against it. Now right now there's no indication that anything has happened. So I'd like to have something there. The last thing that I know about with these eggs, and I fixed some bugs in them too, so I have made some significant progress. So there's only just a few remaining things. So the last thing is, like some kind of more persistent effect than that initial particle effect that shows the last exit that something was born from. So I'm picturing something kind of simple, like the last door that was used is glowing. I could go a different route though. I could say that the next door that will be used is glowing. It just feels a little like there's not quite enough indication of what just happened. Like I like that particle effect, how fast it is, but it feels like it's not quite enough to tell you what just happened. So I think combining it with another effect that lingers a little bit would be the way to go. But in this session, what I'm going to do is just some simple modeling. I don't mean fashion modeling, I mean 3D modeling. I'm going to make a mesh of things. Let me add my boy, they keep on changing the Twitch controls. It's a little bit hard for me to know where to find things because they keep changing it. Okay, so what I want to do is throw a little chat divider down. It helps me see when somebody new pops in and wants to chat. There we go, chat divider. This might be a pretty short session. To be honest, I worked a little bit late. I'm kind of tired. I didn't sleep much last night, so I do want to get some progress done. That is my ongoing mantra, progress every day. But I'm not going to go too heavy on this, not tonight. So let's open the prefab. This is it. I could add some detail over the top of it. I could do some inset stuff. I like insets. Insets are really easy and they look cool. At least they do to me. Might be a little tricky to do it well at this angle. I don't know. I can try it and I can just revert if I have to. And speaking of that, let's do file save. Let's do basically a git save, allowing me to revert. Oh, I think I'm really super thirsty. I think it's like one of those deals where I just got more and more dehydrated over the day. And with my headache, which I think is some kind of like hangover from lack of sleep and getting a little bit drunk last night, the best thing for my little brain would be to get some liquid in it. So just hold on for one moment. I'm not going to take more than 38 seconds tops. Back to work. Okay. So let me see. Yeah, the tricky part is this subdivision stuff. Well, not the subdivision, but the angles. Let me just mess with it a little bit. The other thing is, I'll even go one more level of protection. Let's duplicate the prefab. Okay, now if I mess this one up, I don't even have to worry about undoing. Okay, so let's see what I can do. This is not the best tool for modeling. It is an excellent tool for making changes inside of Unity. It's called ProBuilder. And if you're an indie and you're doing like kind of everything yourself and you already have to be inside of Unity a lot and place things, and the style of your game supports this type of slightly primitive artwork, then ProBuilder is a pretty good choice. I've also heard that I've heard from William Shear, when I went onto his stream and talked to him for a tiny bit, that this is the creator of Manifold Garden, which is the most beautiful Unity-based game I've seen. It is art. It is it's wonderful artwork. And a lot of the stuff I do in my game aspires to be cool in the same way his stuff does. So I learned from him that he wouldn't recommend using ProBuilder for all of your modeling unless you have a set of complementary tools in the form of maybe procedural generation or specialized shaders, and just like in order to make this tool work well for you, you have to contrive the situation a little bit, basically, or you can use it for what it was intended to be used for, which is not to model all your meshes in the game or your prefabs, but to prototype a level very quickly, and use that as the basis of replacements with more refined art that's created in a different tool, like Blender, for example. But I use it. I'm in the camp that benefits from it. So I do make my own additional complementary code that makes things look better. I've written maybe 3 or 4 things like that already that are based on making modifications to Pro Builder meshes and stuff like that. My game does have a very simple geometric look to it. And I'm the same guy that's doing the placement in the level inside of the Unity IDE as the other person who is actually modeling this stuff. So since I'm the same person, there's an advantage for me to use the same tool to both place models inside of and to create the models. It's just a lot easier than switching back and forth between different tools. Okay, so what do I do? I broke that one up. I could break that one up some more. Let's try breaking this one up. It's interesting, they subdivided in very different ways. Let me just select the whole object and just subdivide there, see what it does. That's a lot neater. Okay, I thought of one really easy thing to do. One simple trick that will make the doctors hate me. Let's see how it works. Yeah, this is the tricky part. So I did my inset, but like getting the points to be aligned in some nice way at this angle is going to be tough. I could probably eyeball it okay. Be a lot of work. So you basically have to, in all the dimensions, line things up correctly. And then I've got a certain problem I'll show you. I guess it's not doing that. I thought it was going to tilt the axis so that I couldn't move on the 90-degree XYZ axis. No, it's not doing that. Okay. So this is plausible that I could just, without using any kind of snapping and just a lot of eyeballing, I could get the points so that they were inset and on the surface. It's going to be a lot of work if I do that. Let me do one. I'll just do one. I'll see if I like it. I'll see how much work it is. Okay, so let's hide the giant icosphere. It'll just get in my way. Let's hide the exits. Even let's hide everything except the corner that I'm working on. That'll make it easier for me to use isometric view. In fact, you can see the shape a lot more clearly this way. Okay, so you go there, and then we go. I'm getting confused. Okay. Oh, other side. That's fine. Okay. Let's see. What? What? This must be a snapping thing. Let's turn off snapping. Yeah, it was a snapping thing. Okay. So then let's get the point so it's on the surface. Is there a snap there? That might be. Huh. It's like it wants to stick on that surface. Like it's aware that I might want to align it there. That's pretty nice. Okay. So that's, I guess one thing is maybe it makes more sense for me to do this side first, because the position that I choose on these two axes is going to determine the other one. So if I just get these roughly where I want them to be, I'll have less fidgeting overall. Just trying to make a nice inset so it doesn't look so friggin' plain. Okay. It's really weird. There's some kind of it's like it sticks right around the point where I'd like it to go to, and then I drag a little further, then it goes past it. So it's not real easy to get it exactly where I want. Okay. All right, so let's use that as a starting point. Pull this back over. So when I get it going this way, here you might see what I was talking about. Since I chose my point on that other two axes, it allows me to pull this one in to the right place that will be aligned with the overall slope. Actually, I think I want to go in a little bit further because I want to do an inset after all. So let's go ahead and do that. And let's see. This guy. I think there's some hotkeys too to move quickly between the different 90-degree views. I think I could be using that. Maybe I should. That'll be like a very beveled look. Do I want the beveled look? I think I do. Okay, let's try it. This one going. Yeah, I should figure out those hotkeys. Or even, I think if you use these guys here, it'll do it. But they're just a little bit weird to me, how they work. Alright. So that's one. That's one. And I'll get a little bit faster at it with practice. Question is, do I like that effect? Is it worth taking the hour or so to add all those bevels in? Well, one thing is I don't quite like the choices I made on the bevel here. It feels like it's a little bit thin, so I'm gonna redo it again. Get it closer to how I want it. I don't think this takes that long. It's just a question of getting the first one how I want it, so that the repetition of it on 7 more of these bevels, actually 15 more of these bevels, will be worth it. I think it'll take me, you know, maybe 10 minutes per bevel or something like that. So I want to get the first one right and use it as a guide to do the others. Oh, I've only got to do one corner, then I repeat it and rotate it 90 degrees. Okay, cool. That's going to help a lot. That will help so much. Did I run out of undos? I think the undos are sort of corrupted, which happens. Okay, no problem. There was a reason why I made a copy of this. Let us just delete the thing I was working on and make a new copy. Sometimes you say duplicate and it's not actually selected and it doesn't do anything. Okay, so just as before, I'll hide everything but the thing I want to work on. Then I'll subdivide this baby. I'll use the extrusion feature with Pro Builder to make a shape inside of a shape. That doesn't feel right. Something's off. What is it? Oh, I know what it was. I got the wrong thing selected. Scale, and then extrude. Okay. And this time, I'm going to get smart. I'm going to figure out these directional controls. Okay, that gives me I left ISO view though. Oh, I just click on it again. I'm good. Okay, so is it like I'm rotating? Yeah. Okay, I'm rotating 90 degrees that way. I can go the other way. Okay, that's the way to do it. That's the way to do it. No more fiddling around to get the exact right thing. When you have to do these things again and again and again, it pays to figure out the best, fastest way to do it. Okay, so I learned I don't like really skinny bevels there, so let's make them a bit wider. I'm just going for a pretty close to equidistant border around the whole thing on this bevel. Okay, I'll go this direction because I need to inset. Yeah, actually this is not going to take nearly as long as I was thinking. Okay. I think that's pretty good. Let's keep going. Same technique. 3 more to do. There we go. I just pull the bevels in to match the other ones. Normally I just don't like doing any modeling work without the snap, but this is a task that I cannot really use snap on. Okay, so that's two. Let me do a check on how it looks in non-ISO. I feel like I must be extremely thirsty. I need to go down and get another drink. Be right back. It seems also to me that, yeah, it's taken the post-processing effects from the main camera and applied it to the preview viewer, which is pretty cool. I like that. Okay. There we go. This one's going to be a little bit harder because I don't have right next to it the other pattern to compare to, the other inset. This might help. I think maybe I'll just try to get it roughly right using this. That's still hard. Alright, never mind. I'm just going to eyeball it. I guess I can see the wireframe there, and I can at least get the height. Actually, that's quite helpful because it's equidistant all the way around. Okay. Probably getting pretty close to having it here. that stupid. It's like there's a little bump that I have to land on top of, and it keeps wanting to go past the bump. So it's like stick, nope, and nope. That is really annoying. I don't know what it's trying to do there. It's like somebody wrote some code that said you can put the point everywhere except where you want it to go. Let me try going the other way first, see if that helps. Oh, fuck you, somebody. Somebody wrote some code that's messing with me. It's kind of like... It's the opposite of the snapping feature where it predicts where you might want to pull something to and snaps to it. It's almost like it's predicted where I want to bring it to and said, no, you can't go there. It's really annoying. What if I use the arrow keys? No, don't use the arrow keys. And I've turned off snapping too, so this is just... Okay. It looks like I got it pretty close. It probably won't matter that much if it's just a little bit off, so I think I won't go crazy with it. You know what? I bet I know what it is. If I go up and let it go there, and then I come back down, then I can get there. So there's some code that's saying wherever you started from, let's not let you arrive close to where you started from. So if I move the point someplace far away from the destination and then drag it down to where I want it to go, I'm allowed to get there. So in this case I want to go over a tiny bit to the left, so first I'll drag it off over here and then I'll come back. But I had to let the mouse up and let it register a new location. Mouse up, mouse down. Okay. That seems pretty good. Now let's pull in the inset. Pretty much already pulled. Bottom will not be. Okay. So, you know, I feel like this is still going to be a little on the plain side. I don't want to go to all this effort and just make it a little bit better. I want to make it pop, you know? I want to make it look cool. So let me think. I could add another inset below. I'm picturing something that might be a little hard to do, but I think it would look neat. Picturing like an arc comes up here, comes down, and I'll also inset it in the same style as the above, but there'll be this nice arc right here. Alright, that's what I want. That's what I want. Let's save it. It might be hard. It might be hard to do. This is not a tool that was made for this type of modeling, but I'll try it. So I think first thing is I'm going to subdivide both of these. And I think so. What's my plan here? So I think I need a bunch of points to play with to get the arc. But the other thing I'm thinking is maybe I want a guide image, because then I could apply the same guide image on both sides of it and use that to get it the same in both places. Okay. Guide image coming up. I gotta turn the fan on, it's way too hot. That's why I'm needing to drink so much stuff. It's just hot, I'm sweating it out. Dog. I don't need to do that. All right. Let's just try this first. If I go bam, bam, bam. Let's go. Okay. It's going to be a little bit hard. Because it's not just getting it in a reasonable position on one side, it's getting the other side to match it as well. So I should make a goal that's kind of easy to achieve, I think. Oh, I just thought of something that would look cool. Alright, it's compatible with what I'm trying to do. I'm going to have the inset. I'll just do it. It's harder to explain than to do. Okay. I used to have like some numbers you could put in. Does not look like they do anymore. So this really could be tough. Well, let's give it a shot. Ah! It's not too bad. It's really not too bad. Okay. The trick is to get these things scaled to about the same size. Then the rest is not that hard as far as getting it to match. Right now this one's a fair amount bigger. Let me make it smaller. Getting pretty close. pretty close. I hate that. That may be close enough. Okay, so now I need to think about how many of these points inside here do you need to generate to make a reasonable curve along here. I'm going to go with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's go 16. And right now I've got 3. Alright, done fiddling with the guide. Let's do some more subdivide. Let's friggin' save. It's gonna be tricky. I don't know if this is gonna be successful. This is really trying to do a lot of work with the wrong tool. Okay. All right, let's try it. Okay, so a nice thing is I can just slide horizontally. Oh no! Of course it's gonna deform the guide. Arrgh! Ah, God damn it. Why didn't I think of that? Damn, okay. So what I wanted to use the guide for was to move the point to the location on the guide that it corresponded to. But because the guide is deformed by me moving the point, I'll fuck up the guide as I make edits to the mesh. How else can I do this? Because the guide is really set perfectly now. This is a little bit tricky. Ugh. Just remind me not to be showing my mail in front of everybody. Okay. Screen. Mockup. Overlay. Tool. Mac, mockup, overlay, tool, pixel perfect. I hate getting stuff from the Mac store. Especially for something like this. It's really just a very simple tool. There should be like an open source version of it someplace. That's a browser. I suppose I should appreciate all the free software that's available. And that I can just instantly be putting these things on my system, all these years of work other people did available to me. But mainly I'm just kind of like, I just want it to be here, I want it to work. I don't want to jump through all these hoops. Well, I can see why the guy discontinued the project. He probably had like a bunch of people bugging him. And he's like, no, it's not supported. It doesn't do what you want it to do. And they just keep on sending messages. Hey, I like your tool, but could it do... Alright. Let me just do a test. Let's get some kind of picture, not necessarily the one. Okay. It does something. So I don't know if this is a statement from the developer saying what features are not supported, or if it's an actual description of problems detected with my configuration. No, it's like, oh, well, there's some errors here. I don't know. I'm not feeling good about this. I'm going to try one more thing with this utility before I move on. Oh, it's got, okay, cool. It's got opacity here. So I could set this down way low. And I could take, you know what I'm going to do? Screenshot this whole thing right here. Let's get it the best possible spot, because I won't be able to move it after I've got it overlaid. Okay, let's screenshot that. Okay. Let me see. Do I want the whole thing or just part of it? Let's start with just part of it. It seems more manageable. I'll try to make this a little bit easier on myself too, because this pattern's going to be highly visible to me. Let's see, what's the best way? So I don't want it if I manage to overlay this on top, I don't want it to confuse me. That's why I set the saturation down really low. Okay, let's try this. I give this a 13% chance of working, but I gotta keep trying. Okay, so we'll put this in downloads. Call it overlay 1. Arc overlay 1. Okay. Downloads. Here it comes. See, once I have it up, oh, okay, it's not so bad. Then, can I click through it? Trouble here is the opacity is 100%, even though I set it differently up here. I don't think this has any effect on it. That might have been what that error message was saying at the beginning, but I mean, I really need for Maybe I can do like a kind of alt tabbing kind of thing. So let's do this. The idea would be to get this in the same spot but be able to see through it. I don't see it working. I need it to be a different transparency. But maybe I could set it in here in the ping. Let's get rid of this guy. Okay, arc overlay 2. And that's worse. So it's putting like this giant background behind it, so there's no transparency. I don't know. I don't feel like ripping on this. The guy, he put out something free, and it's open source, and he solved some problems that'd be a little bit tricky for me to solve, I can tell you that. And so it's not doing the thing that I want it to do. I'm not going to be grouchy about it. This guy's my brother. He's got a spirit of generosity to him. But this tool's not going to work for me. Not today. So we can find something else. Okay. Nice. I think this will do it. I think this will do it. I think this will do it. Okay. But will it stay on top? I might have to do a whole bunch of kind of I might have to do a bunch of back and forth. Oh man, this is great. Okay, I have to bring this over. Okay, so if anybody's watching this, don't do your modeling this way. This is not a good way to go about it. It's just, I've got a hammer and everything looks like a nail. That's kind of what's going on. I don't know if this is going to work out, to be honest. To be very honest, I probably should have given up on this approach, on this particular goal, actually. I'm a little bit in love with this arc thing, but man, I don't even know if this is going to turn out well. Feels like I'm doing it in a stupid way. It's a sunk cost fallacy at play here. I've come so far, I have to keep going. So I used to be able to delete points when I didn't need them anymore in Pro Builder, and I haven't seen that feature in a while. It used to just kind of figure out what the new points should be when you delete them. Just be able to just go bam, and it would be gone, and then it would just triangulate as needed. to keep a mesh going. And I feel like maybe there were so many bugs related to people doing that and so many problems to solve that they just took it out. But the problem I'm going to end up with, even if I do manage to get this mesh to line up with the arc, is I'll have all these extra points. I created them so I would be able to make it line up with the mesh. But what do I do with them when I'm done with the arc? What do I do with all these extra points? I think what I could do is delete a whole bunch of faces, and with the remaining empty space, just add one more face back in to fill the hole. Let me see if I can get at least get the outline of this working right. This part's gross. This is the part where I just know I'm doing this in a terrible way. It may work today, but it's just not something I ever want to brag about. I'm being resourceful like Mr. Bean. If you ever watch Mr. Bean, he'll do ridiculously convoluted things to solve a problem, like making a sandwich. And they're clever, but they're ridiculous. And this is like that. So why wouldn't I be a little more direct about it? Why wouldn't I just draw the thing that I need? That might have been the right approach, because I know how to draw a shape and rotate it a little bit. I guess an issue is this is not adding something, it's subtracting something. So I want to make an inset. There is a beta feature of Pro Builder that would let me subtract one shape from another. However, the last time I used it, it worked terrible. It was really bad. The output had all kinds of deformities. It was like I made an elephant man or a Jeff Goldblum Cronenberg fly man. Yeah, this thing I'm doing is just stupid. It's Mr. Beanish. It is still possible that it could give me a good result, though. That's why I'm doing it. Sunk cost fallacy and endless hope. But I know this isn't a good way to go. I know that there's got to be a better solution, and it's just my ignorance that's causing me to choose this particular way to do it. Man with a hammer, everything's a nail. Or you could say my verbs in the design world are limited. Okay, so all that just so I can have space to move this 1 point over to where it needs to be in the arc. And each one of these that I do, it gets harder to squish up all the little vertices so that there's room to make it to the arc, but I've only got a few more left. Tell you, it's a curse when you get a big idea and that idea seems really cool, but it's also severely impractical with your capabilities. Because man, I don't know if this is gonna work. I don't know if I can even squish these things far enough. I can't zoom in any further. What if I use this? Oh, I think this is the old thing I was talking about. You don't get to delete points, but you can collapse them. This is probably gonna fuck everything up, but so if I take all of these, I think this is the old thing I was talking about. Okay, let's see what happens. Yeah, okay. This is probably not a bad development. last one. Just put these 2 points right on top of each other. Collapse again. Okay. Then that guy will have to go up there and I'll have to fiddle with it. And that's a little bit risky. So instead of doing that, because I don't want to mess up the angle of this whole surface, and if I move any point up or down, it's going to risk that. So instead of doing that, why don't I just kind of fudge this a little bit, so it just makes a shallower arc. And I'll try to do it the same way on the other side. Okay. Next, I can get rid of most of these points with that same collapse vertex technique, I think. Although this gets a little bit trickier because this section here I actually want to let me try one other approach. I'll just do each line, because again, I should be able to keep the whole surface at the right flatness that I want if I just don't go up or down with my selection of points. Collapse those. It might be making a giant mess right now. That's possible. But I'll find out. Okay. Not that last one. Not that one. Okay. So I would normally just go and check to see if I'm making a giant mess. But because I've got this overlay set up in exactly where I want it, there's a cost to go in and checking. I don't want to pay it. But I'm pretty happy about getting rid of all those points. Just gotta be careful not to overcollapse. Okay, this one I gotta be a little more careful with. I think I have some surfaces here that are overlapping each other. Yeah, I do. Kind of don't know what I'm looking at. This is not gonna work. It is mangled. It's really super mangled. You never want to see in the mesh lines on the same plane intersecting each other without a point between them, because that means that there's going to be one triangle that's overlapping another triangle, two surfaces, they're just overlapping each other. It's really it's bad news. Yeah, this has gone astray. The question is, could I do it again and do better? Well, here's the big test. So if I'm able to kind of see the effect that I want with an inset that has a arc, then I might be willing to redo it. It's probably going to look completely wrong. But here's a beautiful thing. I was successful in not moving any of the points off of the slanted surface, so they are all aligned on the angled plane of this. Come back to layer X. This is a pretty good tool, I gotta say. That is pretty friggin' cool. Yeah. Okay, so I've got all those selected. The question is, could I just bring them in just a little bit to give me that luscious inset that I was hoping for? Let's try it. Damn it. It's pretty much what I wanted. It would have been better news to me if it was totally fucked up. Because now I feel like I gotta see it through. Damn. It's 8:46. About 10 o'clock is when I gotta stop. A little bit before that, actually. Fuck. That looks good, though. That looks good. That's what I wanted it to be, so that means I gotta do the other side. And maybe I've got an issue over here to deal with, too, which is not going to be easy to just fix. I don't know. Let me look at these. So there. I'm looking for overlap. Oh, you know what might have happened? I might have been looking at a line from one of the shapes that was in the background. Okay, let me just check all these. I might be in much better shape than I thought I was. Okay, those ones seem fine. I'm looking for overlapping faces. Okay, this stuff here I can delete. That gives me the inset look I was hoping for. Alright, I won't delete this yet because I may need it to do the arc on the other side. Okay. Okay, it's gonna work. It's gonna work. Whew. So I'm going to repeat the process here. And I know how to do it a little bit faster and better this time. So let's go with, I wonder if I can just flip this. It's just going to be easier to take a new picture. Okay, so let's get it as close as I can get it. And screenshot, send to preview. Just get the part I need. Photoshop. Set saturation down. Okay, get rid of the background. Set opacity to 50% so I can see through it. Okay, back to this tool. Okay. There was something like dragging it. There we go. Move this on top. Okay. And we lock it. Okay, now back over here. Let's rid of some of these extras by collapsing them. Let's do that up front, make it a lot easier and faster, I think. Okay, so collapse those. Oh, it looks kind of like I'm grabbing some other ones over on the other side. I don't want to do that. So let me just make sure I didn't screw it up with the first one. So just to be safe, I'm just not going to touch those two on the end. Oh, that's right. It has to follow this whole line. So it's really okay, this is the one where I cut it off here. Yeah. Okay, so let's take this and this. Collapse those. I suppose I could collapse these too. I don't need that extra doodad there. Yeah, like that. Man, I totally forgot about collapsed vertices. It's actually quite useful. I'm glad to have rediscovered it. And I have to take back the comments I made earlier about the Pro Builder team taking out a feature because maybe it created bugs. That wasn't the case. This is the same feature I was imagining. I just forgot that it was called collapsed vertices. And it seems to work better than ever before, so not to impugn the Pro Builder team. Okay, so this is the one where it should go all the way out to the edge, but I'm concerned about grabbing any vertices here because they could be part of the other face on the other side. I don't want to mess with those, but I do need to get rid of one of these. It's just a question of which one. So let's go out of this for a moment so I can see what's going on. Okay, I could probably complete the rest of it without that layer thing, so let's Okay, another tricky part. So I want to extrude again. Coming this way. Okay. I don't think I did a good job right there on the curve, so let me undo that. Okay, the last tricky part is cleaning up this corner. So get rid of that. I am done with this guide texture, and it is probably going to confuse me. So let's just get rid of that altogether. What do the other ones have? Simple metal. This is one of those what am I looking at problems. Oh, that's the other side of this. Right? Yeah. Okay. So I don't want to delete that. No, I do. Okay. Alright, so delete that. Okay, then I gotta neaten up these points here. Suppose I'm moving them all the same distance, so I could just do them all at once. Probably have a cleaner result that way. This is just, it really shouldn't have worked as much as it did, and it's just right to the end of it. Like it may be complete garbage, and I'll have to redo it. So there's still like about a 50-50 chance I'll be able to use the changes that I made. I'm really winging it here. I don't have a complete plan to make this into the model I'm trying to create, and it feels like it's going to be gross. But I keep seeing things that make me keep my hope. I really just want to delete a bunch of this stuff and be left with something easier to figure out. And yeah, it's just really, it's tricky. Okay, did I already delete the surface here? It looks like there's still some kind of surface. Let's go ahead and delete that. Do not model this way. This is terrible. I'm being a little bit clever, but it's not good clever. Don't learn anything from me. They'd just be bad habits. So these are not joined anymore. Oh, God, this little bit here is a mess. Is that right? Is that what you want? I don't think so. I think it's okay. There's two polys here that are intersecting. Let me untangle this one. We're just okay. What does that go to? This way. This is the part where it might all fall to pieces. God, it's like tangled up. It's like a giant box of Christmas tree lights. They're all tangled up. And you just throw them out and buy new Christmas lights. So close. Okay, maybe. Don't need that surface. Do I need this surface? That's all one surface? Weird. Huh. What is this? What is this? Oh, I know what it is now. It's a quad where the two triangles of it have gotten folded or creased. So it is two surfaces, but the reason why I'm confused about it, is that there's actually two surfaces, but ProBuilder kind of makes you think of everything as like I'm clicking one surface at a time. But since underneath the hood they store things as quads, you can select one face I've been saying surface, but face is the correct term. And get 2 of these guys. So what do I need to do there? I created a hole here. That's not good. I suspect that I can maybe get rid of this and move the other over. Let's see. Alright, just delete it. One of those 2 sides needs to close up. There's all this junk over here too. Okay, I think it's this side. Yeah. Maybe. What you should learn from this is to use a proper modeling tool instead of doing all the tricky shit, Mr. Bean shit that I got up to. Okay, but it's almost getting the end result that I wanted. Almost. It's so close. It's still probably not going to work. Let's see if I can just kind of collapse these ugly things. I was kind of hoping that if I could just delete all the faces that had to do with these vertices, that the vertices would also delete. And maybe there's some hidden faces in there. That's a possible thing. Hey, whoa. Oh my god. It might work. It might work. Okay, there's some shit here. It's not real important though. Okay, so the main thing is this still doesn't look right. This edge here, but I can fix it. I can fix it. It's not going to be super easy, but it can be done. First I'll get it to the right height, I guess, and then I'll see if I can match the angle. Okay. It's pretty freaking close. It's not perfect, but this is also going to be viewed from really far, far away like that. The other thing I'll try to do is weld some of these points. I think I understand how welding works. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, I see it tightening up over there. Seems like I had the right idea. This stuff down here is still a mess, but it's a mess that will never be visible. I can delete this. It's a hidden surface. Okay. Did I get these guys? I guess they're already good. Well, I think it has a good chance of working. Let's go back out. Kind of see the whole thing. Okay. So I'm actually on the home stretch here. Corner at 1, 0, -1. Corner at, oh, I see. Okay, let's duplicate that. Rotate it. Go. Whew. Okay, I'm almost done. So, another thing I need to do. No, actually the exits are lined up correctly. Huh. Okay. Let me just drop it down there and see what it looks like. It looks much better. I want to add the smoothing back into the icosphere. So let me go and fix that. I think I earlier made a change in the scene and not in the prefab, so fix that. There. Actually, it looks a lot better. And I'm just gonna replace the old prefab. I'm just gonna do it. Replace it. Why did I not hit save before I did that? Oh God. Oh no, 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 no. Please, please don't crash. Don't crash. I have not saved in a long time. Oh, this is like one of the most terrifying sessions. Just do the thing I asked you to or cancel. Just don't crash. Don't crash. Do not crash. Save. Do nothing else now. Save. Save. Okay. Okay, then I get rid of this one from the scene. That was fucking terrifying. Alright, let us look at it. I got maximize, yes I do. Alright. Oh man, it looks nice. It looks nice. It was a lot of work, but I like it. I like it. I like it. I see no issues. This is a very gratifying session. But now's the time to stop. I got my dinner. Alright. Stopping the stream. Stopping it. Stopping it right now.